Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Amazon European Masters Group Stage Day 2, as game number 3 is soon to be here, as Dusty, the NLC champions, who reverse swept X7 in the final, are taking on the second seed from the Prime League, Schalke 04 Esports, who, Guldborg, have had a rough start to the tournament. It hasn't really gone that way, and substitutes and all this, it's a messy situation.
It most certainly has become from Schalke, and I think you even heard it in interviews earlier as well. The fact that, of course, Schalke is now a little bit lessened from what power they normally would be able to bring is, of course, just a given of the current situation they're now in. They'll now have to say that, well, it sucks, but we have to fight for whatever we can from here. And you can't sit around and dwell on what could have been and what could not have been, and you just have to move forward.
And I had a short chat with Lilipp, one of the German casters, and he said Schalke 04 are a momentum-based team. If they get momentum going, they can be really good. But if there's one thing to take wins out of your sail, is whatever is going on here. Jungler getting kicked just before the tournament. Now you're playing with a 200 LP peak support up in the top lane, swapping your top laner down to the jungle. They've just lost all momentum with this, and it's very sad to see. So if they show up here, maybe it can kickstart the Amazon European Masters Group Stage run.
Yeah, I think for the sake of everything, we'll keep this more Dusty focus, and if then Schalke shows up in the game, we'll give them as much as we can as well. But to give the context of Dusty, of course, great team of different caliber EL players as well. Kerberos in the top lane has been known for bringing wacky picks to that top lane for ages, like dating all the way back to when Orcs was a goddamn player himself as well. And I think that's goddamn ages ago, right? So I think that's one way you don't really know what you can expect. There's certainly something different that could come out, and that's why you also see a Darius ban from that top side instead. And of course, your reliable bot lane instead. DenVoksne and Stend has just been a stellar URL bot lane, and I think they are reliable to play for. So I think Dusty as a team, they can fire from multiple fronts, and I think that's really what makes them a difficult team to play against.
And it's a great resurgence for the organization that has been in the NLC for so long.
Some of these players.
Yeah, and some of these players as well, DenVoksne and Stend in particular, having horrible splits down in the LVP just before they came back to the NLC and, gained the crown. But looking at the bans, I really like what Schalke 04 are doing here, targeting Kerberos in the sense that we want to try and give Elite Joint as much of a chance to play the game. And I think banning, these snowball carry chambers like the Fury or like the Darius are very good choices.
Most certainly. But that also leaves open a lot of power picks. Once again, Seri, Yuumi, Lucian, Jarvan, all of these things we've seen been banned away throughout the ages now. Trundle as well in the jungle. It has its costs when all of a sudden you're the one target banning, and especially on red side as well. If you're the blue side, usually you have more time to be the one who want to dictate the bans, and yeah, there you have it. Even with the threat of Kerberos in that top lane, there's still the cat, and nothing beats the cat in terms of a threat.
Yeah, so we'll see what the luck in here will be from Dusty. A pretty flexible team as well, in particular between the mid lane and the bot lane. DenVoksne being able to really play whatever the team needs from him. Once played Listen, for example, in a competitive game down in that AD carry role. But this time he will be thrown in the Aphelios, something we have seen a lot from him recently, also on the first game day.
Yeah, so prioritizing prior on an Aphelios, it's way more LCK based, at least from what we saw from them as well. Still interesting when there's still champions like the Seri Open, but I think the thought process of Dusty is just that, well, Yuumi is no longer available, Seri is no longer available either, we're going to go for the Aphelios, and immediately TakeSet with a classic for himself, brings out the Draven. This is the champion that he's been known for some time as well, especially dating back to when he first started playing League of Legends, at least competitive. I remember back in the Danish scene as well, so certainly a guy to look forward to.
Yeah, and I think maybe for Schalke 04 that is a good plan. Try and get your bot lane ahead, because that's really the only duo that's intact. Your mid jungle is training with Jaeger, now playing jungle. Your bot lane is really the only still stable thing you had from what was your roster before you went into this tournament. But Dusty, they lock in the Graves, and more importantly for me, they give Backlund his signature LeBlanc.
So Decay, there's loads of stuff to look for here. You got the LeBlanc, you got the Lissandras into the LeBlancs, you got the Vex into the LeBlancs. There's still so many things that could just lock this one down should you look for it. But what in turn that would open up for is that supports would get banned down in the second rotation. So it's really just what do you value? And I think you just lock your mid lane here. You can save the counter pick for the support all the way to R5, pick a jungle on 4. So, well, nope, it's going to be the Wukong. So really that prio on the jungle instead, when there's really not been any jungle bans actually. And Graves been first pick from Lyncas, which is, or second pick in that regard, which is quite interesting as well. But going into this second ban phase, supports and top supports and I was just gonna have a look at support and top laners from the side of Schalke, something you can take away, and yep, they're just gonna continue on the Kerberos litter. Nasus being the one getting taken off the table.
It makes sense, especially because a lot of Kerberos picks are niche picks, and that's what he has had most success on back in the NLC. His Darius, Fiora, and these Nasus picks having a way higher win rate than the traditional meta picks when he locked those in. So trimming that pool makes a lot of sense, as it is Dusty who are now trying to target a bit of Decay here with that R being removed.
Yeah, interesting to see the Ari. Of course, the charm stops the dashes coming through from a LeBlanc, and it's just one of the better champs you of course have. I still think the Sandra is something that could be a threat, and at least would force out some cleanses on Merc Treads, and LeBlanc when Merc Treads is never something you're too happy about. Yep, on the side of Schalke, going to continue on the Kerberos train. Makes sense, batting out some of these champions, and I think the Renata is still available to play on the top side for Kerberos if he wants to go in there. Yep, there it comes out for Dusty. The Sandra will finally get taken off the cards.
So what will be locked in here now for Schalke, no theories. They could look for either mid lane or their support role, as at the moment they're hovering more towards that Veigar. Could obviously change, as the mid lane matchup is already known. You would expect that pick to come in, and that's actually a Galio.
Not too bad. Still something that can lock down the LeBlanc, shoot your dash forward, and not be too aware of the taunt to immediately come out from Decay. Of course, could also be a flex towards the support position. We don't know yet, but as you said yourself, knowing the enemy mid lane already, there's not really a necessity for that flex picks. And then down towards the bot side, are we pairing this up with an engage, or are we looking for something Enchanter-esque? And it looks to be more Enchanter-esque. The main concern I have for Dusty's composition right now is that they lack that engage. They have a lot of pick potential, they have a jungler to play for as well if he gets priority, but the problem is you don't have any immediate form of CC. So
what are you
looking
thinking
at that
then?
top side?
What would you like for CC down?
I mean, you can
engage?
just match the on here if you're
Just
really
an on.
looking for it, right?
Yeah,
of course, there is the Renekton if you want to play just like win lane, win game kind of matchup instead. But I feel like on has the value for this team comp that you're currently lacking. No, it's just going to be another one for Kerberos. It's going to be the Mordekaiser. You know what? That's on me for suggesting something that would have been meta.
You can't do that to Kerberos, man. The man doesn't play meta, he plays whatever he wants. I mean, is your best engage now just a Graviton, Moonlight Vigil, hoping for the best from DenVoksne to try and snipe someone out? Hostile takeover also a chance. Handshake maybe, or one shot from Backlund could do something. Regardless, I want to look at the bot lane that Schalke and Aphelios just built for themselves. TakeSet on the Draven, and an Amumu for Lilipp. How do you feel about that, people?
I definitely feel like you can look for engages down here. Renata, if she gets caught off guard, well, you will just be forced to flash. And I think when level 6 comes through from Jaeger, that's where you're really looking for plays with DK as well. We even saw that in the first game of today where Mochko was piloting that mid-jungle duel with a Wukong and a Galio. So certainly something that has to be respected, and specifically when you're just made up of squishies from Dusty. Some of them are slippy, some of them are not, and I think if you get caught off guard when you're on the immobile champions, you are going to be struggling a little bit. I actually think Dusty's team comp is a little hard to play. They'll have to get the elites throughout the mid jungle. You have a Graves, you have a LeBlanc to play for with that invades or whatever you're looking for, but if DenVoksne is your main carry, then you don't have the best frontline really to facilitate him, so that's going to be interesting.
And talking about DenVoksne, this guy has never progressed when he has made it to the Amazon European Masters. He made it with Vipers Inc. down in the plains, went 2-4, didn't move on. Qualified with Tricked as the first seed just last summer, after reverse sweeping the finals, ironically enough. Went 2-4, didn't make it through the group stage, so it would be very huge for him to make it out, and Dusty in particular in those best of 5 have been ruthless reverse sweeping X7, for example.
But there's no reverse sweeping a best of 1, Duckling.
Exactly.
What do they do now?
I mean, let's be honest. They had a shaky start to the split, but Dusty, at the end of the best of 1 stage, you know, the regular season, they had a 10-game win streak. So I'm confident enough that these guys can play best of 1s as well.
Minions have spawned.
We'll find out.
You're really doubting the NLC here. You leave our region, and then you join the NFL, and now you're just cocky like, oh yeah, NLC first seed is not going to make it out.
Well,
You're dating yourself. I can't believe you're doing this to us.
I'm not saying they're not in a good position, because of course Dusty have looked good. I mean, fun fact about Dusty, I do believe that their main source of income, or funding rather, comes from the Icelandic fishing industry. So that's a little one for you there. And actually, wow. So I don't know if anyone spotted each other there, and if they didn't, that's actually so impressive. So late invade for Dusty, but late invade coming through from Schalke and Aphelios as well, and they all just went out, and now the pings are coming through. They're like, what? They're in the jungle? Hello, guys? How did that happen?
What is going on as Lyncas? I think you might need to be a little bit careful here, depending on what Jaeger does. He's They are waiting to see. He goes towards the Raptors instead, so he will look to take those. As Lyncas continues to take away at his blue side. Jaeger, though, will meet him here. I think they've realized something is going on. Smite not available for Lyncas. Jaeger could steal this away. So we gotta look at the replay. No one. I mean, they were spotted on the wall, but it was instantly disabled. As Lyncas,
okay.
you lose this, man. You don't have a smite, so Lyncas just forced to flash. Jaeger, not a jungler, but still bunks to his opponents.
Yeah, and just like that, force out of the opposition's jungle here. They haven't really traded too much in terms of camps, right? You only got one small raptor.
Oh my, Jaeger, he's on a streak here. He's not going for the mid lane red buff. Taking as well, of course, so will slow down Backlund, not force any sums. Good trade back though from Backlund. I mean, you might need to be careful here. Ignite! One more auto would do it! Oh, the taunt is clutch, as you say. Level up as well. Jaeger is out, and that's a big brain play. He managed to get both sums from Backlund.
Well, it's certainly an early game we've had for ourselves here. No kills have fallen through, but it had delivered on the action front. Top side, Kerberos is farming, and he could actually even look to get some aggressive vision if he wanted to. Not going to crash this wave, so it's not going to be allowed. But this Mordekaiser pick is certainly something that's going to come online when you finally reach that level 6. Up until that point, you're really just clearing in waves. You can shove in this wave, you can make it bounce, you can go for cheetah recall. But outside of that, not expecting too much of it. And even with the jungle pathing of Jaeger and even Decay hovering topside, I don't really see Kerberos getting too aggressive up here just yet.
And talking about Elite Join, it is very important for me to make it clear. This guy is first of all a support player. The only other team that he has played competitive for is some team that I've never heard of. No logo, Astana. And when was that, you might ask? 2017. What has he done since then? Well, he spent 2022 being a substitute, a support substitute for Schalke 04. So he's really being thrown into the heat here. Straight into the fire. Role swap. Amazon European Masters group stage. Best of luck, buddy, as he will try to survive against Kerberos.
I mean, hopefully he can still support them in the communication instead then and you know, make the most of the situation. Here he comes. That bounce we talked about, Kerberos though, not looking to let it. Feels like you just want to have that priority on the top side all the time. Push it in, see how much you can trade away from the Chower. Slowly but surely, and didn't even go for that cheetah recall either. So Kerberos remaining happy on his little island in the top side instead. Whereas resets are finally coming through from the two junglers here. You can see it now. Lyncas just been away, picked up 2 long swords. Jaeger's gonna recall now as well. Might even pick up a... Nope, it's just gonna be the Sheen here. No boots coming through either.
And I want to take my eyes back on the bot lane for just a second as TakeSet will obviously continue to stack up his adoration stacks while we are talking about other things. He is though 6 CS behind, so important to look at what happens here, because the longer nothing happens in the bot lane, the more important the fight becomes. The more time TakeSet gets to get these adoration stacks, the more important that kill becomes. So we're waiting to see what happens there in the end. A Drake has now spawned as well, so maybe more attention will be turned towards these bot lanes.
But for now, of course, not much have happened just yet outside of that early game action that we saw. And I mean, you can stack it up, you can wait for those adoration stacks, the execute will come through, but what you're really looking for, of course, to play for is the level 6 for Lilipp as well. DenVoksne could be a target, but of course, having Stend would be more reliable, seeing as he doesn't have flints, but DenVoksne have. And now Lilipp, in Amumu's spirit, former jungler, apparently, have started up the Drake, of course, and Jaeger's going to be making his way in here to pick up the early Drake for himself.
Yeah, I guess he just roll swaps himself, like, nah man, I'll take the jungle road from here on out. I don't really need you, as they will secure this. Lyncas is in the top side, so he can't really contest. And 6 minutes in, it has been an eventful 6 minutes, but no first blood. Is there anything in particular where we would expect some more action here and be the place for the first bit of blood being shared?
I'll be honest, not really. What I'm looking for when I'm looking for anyone who would get aggressive would be the Draven. But I'm looking at a Galio, right? I'm looking at a LeBlanc, but that LeBlanc is into the Galio, so not much is going to happen. Mostly that's a 2v2 kind of thing. And for that, we're waiting for level 6. If anyone were to make any plays, though, it'd probably be Jaeger and Decay now that he's finally picked up the ultimate. But even on the top side, surely won't get any kills, right? I mean, surely.
I mean, you have to remember, that's a Sejuani, man. I mean, Elite Join might be a support main, but he should be able to survive on a Sejuani.
He can play Sejuani support.
That's actually true. Lilipp did that 2018 MSI against, I believe it was RNG, or was it Kingzone?
Trimpy did it this year as well.
Yeah, but that's not as retro. And obviously, I'm a Fnatic fan,
okay,
so I have to talk about
you just wanted to flex that historical fact. Okay, I see you.
I mean, it's not much flexing being a Fnatic fan at the moment. Go on. What were you saying?
Nothing. I was just mimicking you. I was bantering a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, none of our banter games are really that good, so sorry to you guys out there. Regardless, big
Don't say
resets.
that. Don't tell them that.
Come on, man, you can't hide it forever. You can try with your awkward laugh, but nothing is gonna save our banter being awful.
I hate you.
Regardless, the resets have come through from Dusty. They are gonna move out on the map again. Still, no kills. Not that much action, actually, these past few minutes. As we are starting to slowly go crazy here on the caster desk. Regardless, CS lead now building up for the side of TakeSet level 6. Will be coming in. I mean, the bot lanes are about halfway there. And maybe then we could expect some action as we are also looking at Decay. Yeah, go on.
If one were to create a play, right, you look at Dusty. Who's going to be your main engage if you want to look for an engage?
Yeah, you asked that question, and I am not the analyst, so I will send it back to you.
Okay,
Who's gonna
well, I tell
do
you
that
what,
engage?
like, you can't just throw out a Renata ultimate. If that ever happens, it's because you get priority and you get to be, let's say, on the Drake first, and then the enemy has to run into you, then Renata ultimate has value. If you just throw it out on them immediately, they're just going to run away. Aphelios Graviton would be the one for the AD carry. Well, newsflash, he's running out of the Graviton right now. Then you could look for the chain with Backlund, but then you're not really looking for a team fight, you're looking for a pick. So, yeah, difficult times for Dusty to find any reliable engage. We're on the opposite end. There's the Wukong, there's the Sejuani, there's the Galio, you have an Amumu, right? So for Schalke 04, it's way easier creating plays, and Dusty, way harder.
Yeah, breaking news. Something is happening. As Stend forced to flash away from the Cyclone. Lyncas taking that Herald, and while they continue to chill, trying to make some plays, I will remind you, there is now dropped a new Amazon Prime box. I just opened it myself. I got Bullet Thing Kaiser. Pretty nice, pretty happy. We could just go claim that now if you really feel like it. As there was a small trade in the mid lane as well. Jaeger still looking for the dive here, by the way. Still has the flash.
And level 6 actives as well.
Yeah, Lilipp locks them both up. Curse of the Sad Mummy. Surely this should be some kills. As Stend has the bailout, but nothing can save you. First blood on Jaeger, as he will take those 400 gold.
Unfortunately, TakeSet wasn't able to get the adoration stack. When you're going down in the W for Renata, last one who picks up the auto attacks in gets the kill, and the standard side almost reached Stend as he fell apart. But yep, there you have it. It's just that easy. There's nothing to really save Stend for going down in that instance. And can you cross map it? No, not really. So I think once again, Dusty, very hard for them to find meaningful engages in this game.
I mean, in top lane, not much is really happening. It's like they're both on vacation in Brazil or something. But let's look at what did happen down in the bot side. Lilipp, let's look at that Curse of the Sad Mummy. It's fantastic. And as you said, unfortunately, as Stend goes down, TakeSet tries to get in range for the kill. Oh wow, that stand aside just barely missed. As that would have been a lot of gold in his pocket.
But even then, look at the inventory. He's sitting on an Eclipse right now. TakeSet, very happy about that situation. Top side.
Kerberos, yeah, I mean, he's in a 1v2, but obviously the Death Realm is gonna make it a 1-for-1. Elite joined. Let's see who wins this one. It's just a standoff, Mexican standoff. Nothing happens as Kerberos just walks out. Lilipp is here. He might look for something. As now Lyncas, the one in trouble, has to try and dash away, gets locked up. Has the flash as well. Good Q, good auto attack from Stend. That's a kill on Jaeger. The fight continues. Lilipp, that's a fantastic snipe. The bailout is there though, and they can look to turn it back around. Here comes the hero's entrance as well. This fight just continues getting bigger, Kulbo. As now Kerberos is the one in trouble. Stend doesn't have the damage to take down Elite Giant as Kerberos. He'll just walk up and try and smack him flash forward from Decay. But Kerberos doesn't care. Another Q comes through, and they will finally take down Kerberos. Decay now running, no flash. Lyncas, he's back in again. What is going on up in this top lane? As Decay.
One more auto.
Forward.
Oh, Backlund's around though. Q.
He will get the kill. Ignite is there as well. Auto attack the turret, misses the chain just for BM. What am I looking at, man?
I beg of you, don't ask me to analyze that fight because I already forgotten half of it. That was so long. Now Jaeger's still around.
Wait, what? League of Legends, baby.
Well, does get the channel through. Jaeger, so close to picking up that Cyclone and potentially
so
another
bad.
kill. I think in the end, though, that fight was beneficial for Dusty, despite it not looking like it in the beginning.
I mean, I don't even know if it's possible to get a replay of that considering how long the play was. Because I would actually ask you to analyze it, as we do see good CC coming through and DenVoksne. No flash, no cleansing. That's adoration stacks. That gold he just swung by being like 2k in Dusty favor to now 1,000 gold in Schalke's favor.
I tell you why. You look at the AD carry goal difference right now. That was just TakeSet picking up 2K for himself almost.
God.
What a big lead. And DenVoksne missing out on a cannon wave. Big difference in the two AD carries right now. Danish rivalry between DenVoksne and TakeSet, of course, but TakeSet winning out on it right now.
TakeSet, he takes the set. Match point. It's the best of one, so you know they're not going into game 3 regardless. Yeah, I'll stop. Thank you very much for that last info. You're very compassionate here with me on the caster desk as Jaeger. Could be looking for something in the top side. Kerberos will take a bonk. Good prison actually to throw Lyncas into, but yet again, just chilling on vacation. Nothing else happening. As that Herald will get the chop.
Lilipp and the rest of members of Schalke has made their way up towards the top side as well. Of course, Rift Herald not alive, just let. But that doesn't stop you from roaming out here. Backlund, quick look for Decay.
Yeah, Backlund doesn't really have the damage though. Remember, Decay is pretty tanky. Galio, a champion very good against these burst mages as Lilipp. Yet another Q connect. This man is a sniper as Lyncas will find himself in a little 1v1 against Jaeger. Monkey versus Shotgun, who will win? I don't know if you can consider that animal abuse. Regardless, Lyncas, they
Jesus Christ.
Thank you. I can't remember the last time I got you to laugh.
I have to give it to Lilipp. He's been an absolute monster finding some of these engages. Speaking of another monster, Kerberos is making his way down here. Does have that ultimate.
Yep. Okay, able to dash out as there's a Drake on the map. It hasn't really been looked at for a solid like 2-3 minutes as both the teams have been too busy trying to comprehend what just happened up in that top lane. Eyes on TakeSet though. 2.4k ahead. This man is stacked. From rags to riches. 1 kill and he's so far ahead.
Looking to move forward to an Ascent Reaver as well. Lilipp. I don't think you're looking for anything here. There's more guys around the table. And what's interesting is the fact that both top laners has made their way down to this objective. Both teams are willing to fight for this Drake.
Yep, could be in trouble. Where's the handshake? The pull missed, so does the handshake actually. So no agreement to fight in this one as Lilipp hits a Q but goes into the death room. Goes golden to buy some time. Another Q will connect. That's another decimate in the books, but that's a very good hostile takeover to buy more time. But TakeSet still freely hitting in the fight. Decay now locked up. Heroes punch away. He won't really find his way out of this one. Backlund is here as well, so that's another kill secure. That's 2 for Dusty.
And that's one of the big ones for Dusty. That's how they actually want to fight these. It's in the exchange where they can kite back. The hostile takeover comes through, and then it was into great ultimate from DenVoksne. Just like that, with not the best reliable CC, Dusty have actually managed to out-team fight Schalke and pick up a Drake for themselves after the fight.
Yeah, so I don't know how this happened, but Lyncas suddenly finds himself with a 3-0-3. Maybe it happened in this fight. We will now take another look at it.
Yep, let's have a look at it, because Limit, he throws out the bandit charge, of course, bandits. Touches. If you cast it in the real world, it will stay there. And then when he goes into the Death Realm, he's still pulled, despite not being in the real world, but in the Death Realm. And there you have it. Hostile takeover into the Flame Rover, Moonlight Vigil. Absolutely beautiful. Backlund moving first. You can see Sejuani still in the minimap trying to move forward. But it was a 4 versus 5, realistically speaking, and they punish on that. Lilipp.
Yeah, this time there is no back to save you. Yet another locked up. There is flash this time on DenVoksne, so might be able to get out. And that's another cash-in.
Yep,
oh,
318 extra. This TakeSet guy on the Draven is looking a little bit fat. I'm not sure about you, but I'm a little bit scared of what's going to happen when he goes for the recall, because I'm pretty sure he's going to pick up an Essence Reaver and sit on 2 items before DenVoksne even finishes his first item.
Can you flame Horizon in gold? What am I witnessing this game, man? As Kerberos will be battling it out in a 1v2 up in the top lane. And surprisingly, it's actually Schalke who decided to run out of that fight.
I would love to see Mordekaiser accidentally ult the Wukong drone just to see what that looks like. That beyond the fact though, they are just disengaging the play. Rift Herald is no longer to be taken, already picked up by Lyncas, sitting in his inventory, as you can currently see. And yeah, just looking at the 2 AD carries in terms of the itemizations, he's almost sitting on the 3rd item. Almost sitting on the 3rd item before DenVoksne has his first. Unbelievable.
What? Honestly, man. That is a Draven doing Draven things. He chills, does nothing, just stacks CS, gets adoration stacks, walks up, autos, gets the kill, walks back out. I guess you get Draven diffed. What can I say except you're welcome, man. Jesus, this is League of Legends when it becomes League of Legends. A story of 2 different games, really. The top side very much going in favor of Dusty. That bot side very much going in the favor of Schalke. Let's put it like that as we hit that 16-minute mark.
Lyncas does still have that Rift Herald. Question is, where do you want to use this? Mid lane is a bit problematic. just due to the fact that, well, the enemy AD carry is sitting there, and he's quite difficult to fight around. On the bot side as well, going even between Decay and Backlund in terms of pushing in that wave. So you're stuck in this position where they're just waiting for the right time, for a mistake potentially for the opponent they can capitalize on.
And as Dusty group in the mid lane, so will Schalke no fear as Lilipp might get caught up. The change connect, good flash away, still rooted up though. Eyes on TakeSet, he already melts through Lyncas. The bailout will not lead you out to safety. Another kill goes over to the side of Schalke. They might look for more Backlund though. Still fancying himself in this one. Recall coming through from Stend, so they need to back off, and they do.
Yeah, and there you have it. They looked for a mistake. Lilipp almost looked like he was the one making it, but Schalke, they managed to turn it around. Lilipp.
Yeah, Backlund, he does what LeBlanc does and finds an assassination to get something back. But if there's one guy he needs to assassinate, it's that Draven. He's the only reason they are even in goal.
Yeah, I mean, TakeSet, he needs to be patient with his stand aside, because if he keeps that active on him, well, when Backlund looks for an engage, he can use that to disengage the distortions coming through. So that's certainly what we're looking for in these small moments. But gold lead between the two teams, despite everything, it's actually pretty even, not gonna lie.
And it very much feels like Guldborg. If we say TakeSet falls, I think Schalke falls. Who can really hold up then? I mean, you have a Wukong that's 2k gold behind. Your top lane is almost 2k gold behind again. Yes, mid is even, but yet again, it's a Galio. He's not really gonna be 1v9ing a team fight, is he? So, to me, it looks like all eyes on Backlund to see if he can assassinate TakeSet.
Yeah, and even just, I mean, Kerberos as well, he might not be able to get the Delph Realm in on it, but potentially look to get the damage in that you can still get if you hit him with the E. You can't really cleanse that pool. Might be able to force a flash and even capitalize on TakeSet, for example, when he does not have the flash, which he doesn't have right now. But once again, and I just have to highlight, AD carry department, 3 items on Draven, 1 on DenVoksne. That's crazy. And certainly impressive that DenVoksne manages to go even at least in this mid lane, and that's why you have to keep members around him at the same time. All the time as well, because if you leave them isolated, well, Schalke no fear, they will just look for the 2v2. Rift Herald has just been deployed.
Yeah, so let's see what that Rift Herald will do. It will simply get a charge, it seems like, as Dusty. They leave it to be, as they will go towards the Drake themselves. Princess able to clear out this ward. As Kerberos now looking for a pick, but a good sweeper to spot him out. Backlund goes forward, the change connect has to go backwards though. Don't want to get it up by too many axes. Lyncas staying in the front line here. Good damage onto Jaeger. Decay takes a bit of damage from Kerberos. Still though, eyes on TakeSet. As long as he's alive, so is the side of Schalke. That's a very, very good two-man down with the curse of that mummy. But it's onto DenVoksne. TakeSet still alive, and that's the one we need to look at. He could get sent into the Death Realm, and there he will be left to die. Kerberos will slam down on him, and it's 4, it's 5 for the side of Dusty.
And just like that, Dusty's back in it. We highlighted it. Finding TakeSet while he doesn't have the flash. Kerberos comes around, and he delivers on it. Now the gold lead exploding into the favor of Dusty, and what better timing with Baron just spawning immediately. Who can actually stop this? Jaeger is on the map, no flash, does have the smite available, but he's not even making his way up here. Dusty should be taking a significant lead here.
3 items on an AD carry doesn't do anything against a 1.5 item top laner. How League of Legends is that? As we take a look at the replay, Lilipp, fantastic engage. But the follow-up, not really that, and DenVoksne able to get out. Look at TakeSet. What happens to him? Well, he walks in trying to get Backlund and Stend. Kerberos finds him, isolates him into the Death Realm, and there's simply nothing TakeSet can do. He gets spawned by a single decimate, and that's the fight over.
I think it's just the positional mistakes coming through from TakeSet there. He's not really looking for the squishy members on the top side of that fight, but purely looking down on Stend. Well, third Drake has spawned, and despite the Baron in position of Dusty, Schalke no fear strikes first, but in the mid lane they're leaving themselves vulnerable, and a response will come through from Dusty.
DenVoksne taking through it as quickly as possible with the red and white guns. Lyncas, Backlund, and Stend here to assist him as well. Kerberos is on his way in, as they will take 2 turns. Rotate up towards the top lane, it looks like, and maybe get a 3rd.
Continue with it, played on 2 lanes, the classic. When you have Baron in newer seasons here, of course. Hostile takeover is available, and this is where it becomes quite useful when you're sieging these tier 2 turrets, when you can stand around the wall and threaten any enemies who walks forward. DenVoksne, good Calibrum gun as well here, got the extra range to play around with. Lilipp joined.
Ooh, Lyncas, nice juke on the Glacial Prisoner. He will be able to walk out! And that's the monkey gone instantly. Elite Giant looks to be smoked here as Kerberos comes in on the flank, doesn't really go for it in the first round, and Lee Joint able to walk out for now,
Oh, that
but
should be it.
Backlund says goodbye with the Ignite. That's 2 more kills to Dusty.
And all of a sudden, Dusty has just come online. They were behind for the longest time, and they fight 1 victory, 1 Baron. Now they're finding multiple objectives. Top tower gone as well. Inhibitor soon to fall too. And with members still dead from the side of Schalke 04, no one's going to stop this push. Can go back, reset. Dusty, out of nowhere, has shown up to play.
Now 1 fight, 1 Baron, that's all they need. Can you ask for anything else? These NLC champions, severely underrated in my eyes. In another of these tier lists, I think they can make it far. My biggest worry was the best of ones. Could they make it through them? They have gotten a 1-0, should be getting a 2-0 here. Look at that goal lead. You can see the places where TakeSet gets kills, but you can also see when Dusty got that 1-2.
Yep, and I think that they are still feeling that impact coming through now. No need to play on top side anymore. Super minions are coming through. Baron still active for 30 seconds. Dusty looking to make the most of that. There is still an outer turret to play on the bot side. Jaeger around the vicinity.
Kerberos is there. Keep an eye on his ultimate. He will throw, takes it into the death realm. Still no plans. He will die in there, and he will be left to rot in his grave. And without him, what can Schalke do? The answer, nothing. It was clean. There was no doubt as soon as TakeSet falls that Dusty was gonna win this game.
I feel like TakeSet would have done wisely to invest in the QSS with the goal lead in half, and Kerberos right there just immediately punish on that decision making. Out of nowhere, they continue with the siege. 4 members dead of Schalke 04. Backlund pushing in the mid lane. Kerberos and the rest of Dusty on the bot side, pushing in the bottom inhibitor turret, and they're just going to continue with the siege.
Why even take that inhibitor when you can take the game? Dusty looking to go 2-0 and really show that they have come to play. Game Walk awaiting next up around us. Lilipp, it can look flashy, it can look good. TakeSet might take down 1, but the base will eventually fall 1 more hit from Kerberos to seal the game.
And that's the fastest one today, which it really didn't look like it was going to be from where we started with this game. But moving forward from it, Dusty, my god, what beating. Securing themselves a 2-0 at the European Masters main stage.
Even when TakeSet had died and, the game was over, he was still 1.4k ahead. That just shows the whole marathon he was ahead of DenVoksne. He was so far ahead, but it just wasn't enough. That one member, as you said, should have probably invested in that QSS, let's be completely honest. Get pulled into the death realm, had 0 counterplay to that, with no QSS at the very least. And that's the game. Schalke down to 0-2, and obviously that game was a little bit fun towards the end. It was very clear who was going to win, but let's be honest, this is a very sad situation for Schalke 04. They deserve to be at the Amazon European Masters, but these changes that have come in just as the tournament starts, unfortunate, nothing you can do about them, and it's very sad to see, let's be completely honest. Hopefully they find some way to bounce back tomorrow or in 2 days when they play. I can't quite remember, actually, let's be completely honest as well.
But this is why you don't bring it up. That's the broadcast.
That's one of the first things you told me, instantly.
No, don't bring it up. Yeah, I remember that one.
I remember that as well, but I don't care anymore. Regardless, we do have an interview.
You don't remember good enough.
We do have an interview. Lyncas, welcome to the broadcast, and congratulations on that dominant win, I think you could say, on the top side at the very least. Bot lane, a different story. How are you feeling after a pretty confident win and a good performance from you as well?
I mean, I think it should have been a bit cleaner, especially with, the circumstances Schalke is facing. So, yeah, I'm happy with the win. I'm happy that we are 2-0, going to play Game War tomorrow, but I think it should have been a slightly cleaner win.
And looking back into this game, because you bring a draft where there's not too much reliable engage, you're very skirmish heavy in your approach to this game. How's your reflection on how you guys pilot the draft you make? And is there any adjustments you would have liked to make once you were in game? Did you feel like, oh, we're really lacking something?
I think it was fine because enemies drafted like team combat is very short range that needs to dive onto us. So I think the Renata did a great job against that, and then of course I think the B5 Mordekaiser was also a very very good pick. That's the Kerberos special. So yeah, I think we piloted the draft quite well.
Yeah, I'm happy to hear that. You guys are now 2-0, obviously the NLC champions. And I'm gonna be honest, I think a lot of people have underrated you guys in the tier list and expectations. How confident are you guys of having a good run?
I mean, I'm pretty confident in our abilities. As you said, like we are quite underestimated, but I don't really mind being like the underdog kinda. Right now we're just looking at one game at a time, so I think we can go far. But as I said, one game at a time, and yeah, let's first focus on making out of the group stage.
Do you specifically have
Happy to hear
anyone
that.
you're looking to face? Obviously, like the NLC for the longest time ever was like, all right, we always lose to the LFL. But for you personally, is there like friends on other teams or anything you're really looking for to get the edge over?
Not really, no, I actually haven't thought about it. Maybe it would be kind of interesting to face SK, because Atskas plays there, and like he's the other Lithuanian jungler that is like the only Lithuanian besides me that is in EU
Yeah.
Master, so maybe it would be kind of interesting to face him. But besides that, I think no, not anyone like specific.
Yeah, thank you very much, and congratulations again on the win, Lyncas. It was a great
you.
performance in many parts of the game. I'm looking forward to see how you guys perform next.
Good luck.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye bye.
And with that, we have just had a chat with Dusty, of course, but we have to go in and look at what happened this game, because another Amazon European Masters banger is how I would phrase it.
I mean, I think it certainly was. And I think at this point in the game, I was worried for Dusty, at least just a little bit with the way it was panning out. First kills go over, and I think Lilipp, monster early game from that little small Amumu. I say that, and then this is the clip that's going to run where he dies. But I think it's important to notice as well, great map movement from Dusty as well coming through. They, realistically speaking, make this a 4 versus 5 as well. And killer hostile takeover coming through from Stend, setting up DenVoksne as well with the Moon Knight Vigil. So while they didn't have their prowess in the laning phase, this is of course a combo you want to utilize when you hit that level 6 instead. And wow, great setup there with the Bandit Touch. Unfortunately, I think this is the fight where it takes it. If he moves down towards the top side or up towards the top side,
he doesn't
looks for
Kerberos
DenVoksne
there.
instead. That's where you have something to fight for. Unfortunately, gets pulled in by Kerberos, and that's really where it's doomed when Mordekaiser gets to take the enemy Draven to Brazil.
Yeah, welcome to Brazil, baby, and what is that laugh, man?
You're too young. You're too young to understand the veteran
Ah.
memes in the scene, my dear Duckling. I'll show you the video afterwards.
Yeah, thank you for that. Regardless, another trip to Brazil for TakeSet. At least he got an all-inclusive holiday paid for in this game, as he wasn't able to come through with carry performance. Dusty, I want to say, they realized, yes, we just need to kill Draven, and I mean, they certainly did.
I mean, yeah, for 100%. And yeah, I mean, this game was close until it wasn't. That's the story of it, and I can't say anything that's gonna paint a better picture than that. Lots of members, as you see from the damage graph, showed up from the side of Dusty, but if you had to give an MVP, I would just straight up throw Kerberos in there and say he had, what, 5 champions banned against him, 4 champions banned against him, and he whips out the B5 Mordekaiser pick to just really carry the game, especially towards that mid game. So yeah, for me, Kerberos, big standout player.
You wanted the on. He showed you why he doesn't play meta. The man plays niche
yeah,
picks,
I guess so.
and he doesn't
I
care.
guess
Like
so.
meta, what's that? Never heard of him. And Dusty, they take another win. It just feels so weird considering everything that's going on. Regardless, I am happy to see Dusty do this. DenVoksne, with one more win, he will break his own personal EU Masters win record, being 2-4, which is what he went with Tricked and Vipers Inc. the 2 previous times that he has gone. Regardless,
He goes 0-6 with Vipers Inc. back in the day.
no, they went 2-4. They were very bad the first week, and then they realized
wow.
we need to play League of Legends, and then they started playing some League of Legends, but not enough League of Legends. Regardless, we are gonna throw it to the break, and when the stream comes back, Jamada and Viper Room will guide you through the last 3 games. It has been a pleasure being here with you, Gilbo. See you all soon.
Bye, guys.